Assalamu alaikum, family. Hope you all having a blessed, wonderful day. Hope you all are doing good out there. We here. It's Friday. What they say, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Well, we thank God for every day, not just Friday, because we're blessed to see another day. We thank Allah for allowing us to see yet another day. We have a chance to do it right. If we didn't do something right yesterday, you have a chance to do it right today. So we thank Allah for allowing us to give us the fiber of our being and allow us to see a bright and new day. We're here and we give all thanks to Allah. I hope y'all had a blessed week. Hope that you're having a blessed day. And the likelihood that your week and or day hasn't been going well, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope and trust in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, getting to the topic for the video, Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion Sanders, quarterback of the Colorado Buffaloes for the past 2 seasons, and before that, Jackson State. He's gone. He hasn't been drafted. Cam Ward with number one, and in my opinion, I think Cam Ward was a better quarterback than Shedeur, and so the Tennessee Titans made Cam Ward the number one pick in the first round, and that's I have no problem with that. Cam Ward, that young brother can ball. I saw what he did at the with the Miami Hurricanes last season. Oh man, that young brother can ball. He was supposed to go to Michigan, but for whatever reason, personal reasons, he flipped his commitment. I think it came out that my dog sees a crow out here. He goes crazy. He's funny. But any event, Cam Ward was supposed to go to Michigan, but it was reported that the offensive coordinator at the time, Josh Gaddis, was sleeping with Cam Ward's mom. I think that was a rumor that I remember hearing something like that. They had some relations, and Cam Ward flipped his commitment, and he went ended up going to the Miami Hurricanes. Or Josh Gaddis left and went to Miami, and Cam Ward followed. But I digress. Um, Jackson Dart out of Mississippi, he went to the New York Giants, and Mel Kiper had Shedeur Sanders as his number one quarterback over Cam Ward being taken in the draft. But today it's the second round, and Shedeur Sanders has yet to be drafted. I think he would go in the second round, but just the fact that he didn't go in the first round is crazy to me because the young brother can ball. Shedeur Sanders put up big numbers. My criticisms about his play is that he held on to the ball too long and he took too many sacks, which wasn't it was the fault of his offensive line because he really didn't have one. He had to get rid of the ball quick, fast, and in a hurry, or he had to scramble, and he took too many hits, as well as holding on to the ball too long. But other than that, and he could iron those things out because he's young. He's only 23 years old, so he could iron all that stuff out. But be that as it may, the young brother could ball. He could ball. Um, I didn't like his antics, the just some of the showboating, and we know he gets that from his dad because Deion Sanders was known for high stepping, the high stepping. Must be the money doing the videos, had the gold chains. When he broke into professional sports in '89, he had the Jerry curl with the gold chains. So Dion was brash, and I just think it's a time and place for that. I love the confidence. I love the bravado. Don't get me wrong. I love it when a young black male is just confident, or any black man exudes confidence. I love that. But the they throwing a rap concert after they won a game. I think it was the first game of last season that they won. They had a concert in the locker room or a little mini concert. I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan. I'm like, man, just focus on winning. But be that as it may, that doesn't take away from the fact that this young man can ball, and Dion has prepared him for greatness in the league. I can't take that away from Dion. I have to give him credit, even though a lot of some of the things that they did I wasn't a fan of. But that has nothing to do with football. Not a damn thing to do with it to do with this young man's football skills. Not a damn thing. If it did, then that'd be something else. Then we would have a conversation. Like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I could see why. But we've had white quarterbacks, and I said this on my X feed and on my Facebook feed. We had John Elway in 1983. The Baltimore Colts was going to draft him. Then the Baltimore Colts were in the city of Baltimore. They moved to Indianapolis a year later in '84, but they were going to draft him. John Elway said, "I will quit football and play baseball if I have to play for the Baltimore Colts." How many of y'all are old enough to remember that? This was back in '83, 42 years ago. How many of y'all are old enough to remember that? When John Elway told the Baltimore Colts, "I will quit football rather than play for y'all. I'll go play baseball," because Elway played football and baseball at Stanford. He actually said that. He was granted his wish. He was drafted by the Denver Broncos. Well, he went ended up going to Denver. Um, Back in 2004, I know many of you are old enough to remember this. Just 21 years ago, Eli Manning was going to get drafted by the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers were then in San Diego. They later moved to LA, years later. But he threatened to he got his daddy involved. His daddy was interviewing Ryan Leaf's father. What's the San Diego Chargers? They don't uh they don't protect quarterbacks. They don't protect quarterbacks. Even though Dan Fouts had an excellent career with the San Diego Chargers, Drew Brees had a great career with the San Diego Chargers early in his career, and a lot of other quarterbacks. I can't think of the who was the quarterback on the '94 Chargers when they had Natron Means. Was it Stan Humphries? But anyway, he had a decent career. But Eli Manning, uh, he hauled and bemoaned, and he was drafted. He was able to get drafted to the New York Giants. Later, he won 2 Super Bowls. We don't know how his career would have ended up in San Diego. He may have won Super Bowls out there. It's quite possible, but nope. He heat and hauled, stomped his feet. Daddy got involved, and Eli was drafted by the Giants. So, so the moral of the story is, when you are young, egotistical, bratty ass young white male, the world is your oyster. When you are confident, young black male who has bravado, you are a threat to the NFL. Before I go any further, hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. Yeah, when you're a young black male who exudes confidence, you're a threat. The NFL doesn't like it. And sports is supposed to be a meritocracy. You're supposed to be judged on your ability, not on your attitude. Even though we know attitude it goes a long way. I can't deny that. But for the most part, you should be judged on your play, on your skills. Yes, there are athletes who talk too much, who are jerks. Great example of this is Barry Bonds. I think I've told this story on here where I met Barry Bonds twice. and he is one of the biggest jerks I've ever met in my life. The man is a grade A jerk. Grade A jerk. I don't know if he's changed his ways, but when I came across him, the dude was an asshole. No doubt about it. A complete asshole. But I cannot deny the fact that the man is one of the greatest home run hitters in Major League Baseball history. And he belongs in the Hall of Fame. That's right, I said it. Even though he's an asshole, he's a jerk. The man belongs in the Hall of Fame. He was an excellent baseball player. Barry Bonds is one of the greatest to ever play on the baseball diamond, one on the baseball field. One of the greatest. I will not deny that. Ty Cobb, he was rumored to be he was known to be a racist. Think he had ties to the Klan. Trash human being. But the man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. His play, his play dictates it. There are many NBA players. I've my cousin in Jersey told me that Patrick Ewing is an asshole, just a horrible human being. However, Patrick Ewing is one of the greatest centers ever to play in the NBA. He's definitely the greatest center in New York Knicks history. Oh, by the way, go Pistons. We're gonna win game four. Just want to throw that out there. But Patrick Ewing is one of the greatest centers ever to play in the NBA. He had a great career in the 80s and 90s. When he got traded to Seattle, his career kind of went down a little bit. But the man undeniably is a legend, and he's the greatest New York Knick. You put him up there with Walt Clyde Frazier, Dave DeBusschere, Senator Bill Bradley, Bernard King. So the man was just a great New York Knick. And he's in the Hall of Fame. Deservedly so, because Pat Ewing could ball. We heard stories about Michael Jordan. I've heard stories about Michael Jordan being an asshole, just being trash to people, being a complete jerk, not just to his teammates, but to fans. I've heard stories, and it wasn't just one or two, it was many stories I heard about people who actually tried to get autographs from Michael Jordan, and he just was a complete asshole to him. But can we not say that MJ doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? The man, many consider him to be the GOAT. They consider Michael Jordan to be the GOAT. I don't. I consider it to be Bill Russell, but that's beside the point. Bill Russell won 11 championships. That has yet to be topped. And I don't give a damn in what era he played in. But a lot of people consider Michael Jordan to be the GOAT. I consider him to be on the Mount Rushmore of the greatest NBA players ever to play. It's, in my opinion, it's Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant. That's my Mount Rushmore. So, but MJ is the greatest Chicago Bull ever to put on that Chicago Bulls jersey. I cannot deny that. Michael Jordan did a lot for the sport of basketball. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson did a lot for basketball in the United States. Michael Jordan transcended it, not just here in the United States, but around the world. There were kids in Europe who wanted to play basketball because of Michael Jordan, in the Philippines because of Michael Jordan, in Africa because of Michael Jordan. So we cannot deny how great this man was. Yeah, be that as it may, he may have been a jerk, but he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Deserve you cannot deny that. I say all this to say this. The point I'm trying to make is Shedeur Sanders should have been drafted in the first round. The young brother has talent. This young man has, they said his arm strength, but from what I've seen, he could chuck it downfield. He needs to develop on a couple things, not hold on to the ball so much, not take so many sacks. But over time, he will get better. But for him not to be drafted in the first round, it has nothing to do with football. It has a lot to do with his father, who his father is, and his persona. And it just shows you that sports, when it comes to black and white, it's not a meritocracy. Sports is about racism and hypocrisy. It's a business that's built on racism and hypocrisy. Because you cannot tell me that Shedeur Sanders is a better quarterback than Jackson Dart. Oh, I mean, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. You cannot tell me that Jackson Dart is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. Yes, Jackson Dart is a very talented young man. I saw him play at Ole Miss. I saw a few of their games. Jackson Dart he's a good talent, but he's not better than Shedeur Sanders. So let me be very clear on that. He is not better than Shedeur Sanders. It is no way you can convince me that Jackson Dart is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. But you know, the NFL, like I said a couple minutes ago, when you white, you're white. You know, when you're a young white male who's an egotistical little jerk who he and Hall and throws temper tantrums because you can't get your way, but eventually you do. The world is your oyster. John Elway is beloved. Eli Manning is beloved. But Shedeur Sanders is, because of his bravado, he's vilified. I'm not comparing Shedeur Sanders' play to that of John Elway, Eli Manning, because we have yet to see what he does. The young brother's only 23 years old. So we has yet to see what he does on the NFL field. We saw what he did in college. So I just don't like this. Again, I've had issues with Dion and Shador, their annex, but again, like I keep saying, be that as it may, you cannot deny the fact that this young brother can ball. He plays the quarterback position very well. There's a little, kinks here and there, but for the most part, what quarterback doesn't have kinks here and there? I'm sure Cam Ward does. We know Jackson Dart does. So it's not right, but it's not surprising because it's been talk up leading up to the draft that Shedeur Sanders wasn't going to get drafted in the first round, that he may go in the second round, and that's what it's looking like may happen. That he may go in the second round. We shall see. Let me see if they if go on ESPN here if something's changed. Round two is at, oh, okay. Rounds two and three is at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So it's another 2.5 hours. Yeah, another 2 hours. 2 hours and some change. Because right now it's 10 minutes to five out east, and it's almost 10 minutes to two here. So we're going to see how this plays out. But Stephen A. Smith, I just saw he attributed um, Shadura not getting drafted in the first round to Dion. And there's some truth to that because we know Dion was brash. He was exuded confidence, and a lot of the NFL still holds that against Dion. So the sins of the father transfers to the son. The sins of the father transfers to the son. He's guilty of the father's sins in this case. Dion was braggadocious, was had a lot of bravado, was confident, and the NFL didn't like that. So I agree with Stephen A. about that. It's it's being pushed on to Shedeur, and it ain't fair. It's not fair at all. But we know that life ain't fair. If it was, there'd be a lot of people who are in the grave who would be alive among us right now. Life ain't fair, and I think it's crazy and it's wrong that Shador is going through this. It's just wrong because it has nothing to do about football. It's all personal, and they should not be making it personal. They're making it personal against Dion, the NFL. Nothing to do about football. It's personal, and I hate that. But this is how they get down, and it should be come as no surprise. So I wish Shadur Sanders. I wish him success. I hope and pray that things work out for him. I hope he's drafted soon and very soon. I hope he's the first pick now in the second round. It's crazy. Um, but whatever. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. On that note, I'm gonna hop off of here regarding this. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. I understand that there are going to be some who disagree with me, and that's fine and dandy. All I ask is that you use logic, common sense, and respect in our disagreements. And let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's do that, y'all. Use common sense, respect, and logic, not emotion and disrespect. That'll get you nowhere. Share this video, share it, share it, share it. Let's have the conversation. Um, Support my YouTube channel here and my future projects. It'd be greatly appreciated. I need y'all love and support, and the love and support that I have received, I don't take it for granted. I gr- I, I appreciate it immensely. Believe me when I tell y'all that. I love y'all back. Love you. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Beware and be aware. We know Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. So whether you're going to work, coming home from work, dropping your children off at school, picking them up, running errands, on vacation, whatever the case may be, beware and be aware. I love y'all. I will talk to y'all soon, inshallah. Have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Assalamu alaikum.